Okay, so you said you've been playing HOTS for 3 years? And what rank are you? This is Brazilian server, right? What rank is this? Plat 3? Okay. Alright, let's jump into it. Okay, so right off the bat, you're playing Leo into Urel matchup, and also this comp is pretty high damage. So if this is me, I'd probably go E build, maybe auto build. Definitely not W build because it's so easy for them to get out of the drain. And then I think right away you're making a mistake by going topside here. So the only time I would go straight to lane is if they have something that can gank you really easily, like a Valera or a Tracer, and it looks like they're going to do that, or like a Genji, so you don't want to get harassed on your way up. Or if your comp is really bad at getting kills, and they have like a lot of stacking. So like they do have Vala stacking, which maybe you want to avoid giving her stacks, but your comp is super good at getting kills, especially early game, because you have Sukov, Tychus, and Diablo. So this is me, I would stay mid, because in Dragon Chart, on most maps, getting the first mid wave is pretty big, because that means you're ahead on rotation. Like, it helps your 4-man a lot if you get the first mid wave. So I wouldn't recommend going straight to lane like this, unless you have like a really good reason, because you can usually help your team a lot more, instead of, because you're just kind of AFKing here while your team's 4v5 now. It's not a good idea. See, basically just letting your team 4v5. If you were here, would this guy still die? Probably, but at least you could have helped. Maybe you could have saved him. At least you could have had some sort of help. Maybe you could have killed this Maiev. Do that. Maiev 1 HP, you could have traded. It said you just got, and you're like dotting your team, but that's actually your mistake. So it's one of those where when you go back and look at it, your team inted, but like you shouldn't be leaving your team 4v5. Or at least you should be pinging them back, like, yo, you guys shouldn't fight because it's 4v5. So yeah, getting that top wave doesn't really do anything because Urel was able to catch almost all of it anyways. And then, okay, so right here, as far as your lane trading, so with the Leo Q, you want to always hit the most amount of minions. So I see you want to trade on him by queuing him here. But try to find an angle where you can Q him and the minions. So if you like walk right here and you Q towards him like that, then you can hit all the minions. So you should always prioritize the minions with your Q, ideally. So here again, you're only queuing him, but you should be queuing the wave always in these scenarios. Because he's focusing the minions and you're not, so he's getting that wave clear priority over you. You could have had this wave cleared a long time ago, and then you could have been harassing him. All three of your Qs here were, that was a nice E on his W, right? That was good. So yeah, try to focus more on the wave itself than on the enemy hero. Ideally you're hitting both, but if you have to choose one over the other, always choose the wave. I think you're kind of too focused on harassing him when you should be more focused on the waves, because if you're getting the wave pushed out consistently, then you put yourself in a better position to win the lane than if you're just fully focused on trading. And you could also be maybe double soaking to help your team as well. And then, so right here, I would just go for my top. You should try to do early tops in general, just to get it running. That way you're not wasting the cooldown on it, because you're kind of holding it for no reason here. You're half HP with like almost half mana, so right now would be a really good time to tap. You don't really need to save your top for that long. And then yeah, here just clearing. No, you're up there way better than me. Not sure if that's true. It's because you're not focusing the wave enough. Like you see, you keep queuing her every time instead of queuing the wave. And then also you're holding your tap for way too long. If you've had your tap this whole time, I would have tapped a long time ago here. You went paralyzing. Okay, that's good. I like that talent. And then so right here, this is a pretty bad drain because she's max range. Pretty much only want to drain people if they're melee range, and you generally want to queue them first if you can. So if this was me, what I would do is I would just go around. So like right now, you're like focusing too hard on trading. You could just go up and around and clear the wave. Oh, the next. Instead, you're sitting on the wave, so you tank her jump, and then she already knocked you away and you still try to drain her. So like this is way harder to hit. You see how easily he sidesteps that? It's because he's max range. So it would have been better for you to just hold that and then go into the wave, or just go tap. But now you lost all your buttons, so you have to run. Think fine? Okay, finally you tap. Yeah, you should have done this tap like 2 minutes ago, I would say. Maybe like a minute and a half ago. You would have had it up way faster. You'll have your Alcyon up sooner anyways. And then, okay, so right here, this would be a good time for you to ping because you just saw her rotating this way and she has priority on you. So this would mean I would throw a couple pings right here, like ping back my team, like Urel is there, because that way you alert them that she could be roaming here. And then, so right here, and then also you keep dotting your team, but you gotta focus up. Like dotting, this is really bad because this doesn't actually do anything. All this does is tilts your team more. It tilts you and it tilts your team more. So like you gotta watch out for stuff like this because it's not very productive. And all it does is tilt people. And you're gonna like start a bunch of arguments, or you're gonna make people play worse, or you're gonna make yourself play worse. You should be like more focused on the game than, it's like a bad habit you gotta try to fix, because the more you do that, the worse your games are gonna be. And then, so right here, I would already be mounting up and helping get mid wave. Since 2 of your teammates died, and Urel is ahead of you, you have to start matching the Urel. So, yeah, you should have already been, instead of typing ... you should have been mounting up and already been mid lane. So, I guess you basically did it in time, but maybe a little bit slow. And see, now this is good. Finally, this is what you should have been doing. This is what you should have been doing from the start. Like, remember earlier you kept queuing him and trying to trade on? This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just run past him and queue the wave. That's what you're supposed to. Just ignore him. And then if he tries to trade on you, then you trade on him. But your priority should always be the wave. And you should eat that. Oh, you should have eat that. Okay, at least you eat this stun. You might still die to the whip. No, you're fine. I think you could have eat that URLW, but it's fine. And then at this point, also you have to remember Dragonshire is a really late game map generally, so giving a dragon or two doesn't really matter. This map is super late game focused, so just focus on soaking and trying to get back ahead. Don't worry too much about the early game deaths. Usually whoever wins early game on this map doesn't even really matter. And then, so yeah, right here, good rotation on the mid. That's fine, you're creating space. That was good. That was a good play. So you guys only lost the wall, pretty good. Going back to top, you should have bounced that heal back to your Sukal. That's a little thing. Whenever your Sukal gives you a fadeaway heal like that, I'll show you real quick. So this is all good. Whenever he gives you these fadeaway heals, like that, I always run back and bounce it back. It's always like a nice thing you can do. I mean, everyone's full HP, it's just like a nice habit. It was pretty much max range though, so yeah, kind of hard to notice that one. Not really, that one's not really a big deal. That's just like a really small thing. Oh, any DC, yikes, that's not good. Hopefully he comes back. And then, okay, going range. Range is good if you're going... So the way I do my Leo builds is, if I'm going E build or W build, then I go range. But if I'm going auto build, then I go move speed. That's usually what I do. But so far I like this build. This is what I would have gone this game. If this was me this game, I probably would have just gone E build 13 and 16 with the rest of these silence are good. Just because our team comp has a ton of damage, and your comp has a ton of damage, so you don't really need more damage. But you could use the defensive, the shrink ray. And then, okay, so right here, this is another small thing, but as soon as your Q is up, you want to automatically be queuing. So either you queue this, or you go ahead and queue the wave. So you're kind of holding your Q cooldown too long. You should be using that right away for wave clear. Like, I'll show you what I mean. Like, if you queued this, what rank? This is Plat 3. We're doing on stream VOD review. Okay, so like if you queued right now 418, it'd be back up at 430. So you could have cleared this way faster. Like, your Q would be up right now. So you could have had 2 Qs. In the time you did 1 Q, because the 12-second cooldown, you could have had 2 Qs basically. So even if it's just 3 minions, and as long as the next wave isn't already there, it's always fine to just go ahead and quickly queue up, or quickly queue. That way you can get 2 for 1 combo there. And right here, a little indecisiveness. You're not sure if you should clear mid or stay top and pressure. I think either play is fine. If this was me, I probably would have just went mid and gotten this mid wave. Because you see that their 4-man is overextended. So both plays are fine, but I think if you went and got this wave, you could have potentially collapsed afterward and forced their 4-man back and helped your team out. So whenever you're like 8 to 9 like this, they're going to get 10 first, but they're not quite 10. And you guys have this camp of pressure. So getting these towers would be nice, but it would be a lot better to get this wave out to create this pressure. That way Urel has to juggle this camp and this wave, so she's getting overwhelmed. And also you have pressure on their 4-man because now you have priority and you could easily collapse. So in this scenario, I would have just rotated down and helped pressure. Because you could have either gotten kills here or you could have pushed them off so that you guys could do your camp and the lanes would have been a lot better for y'all. So this would have been one of those scenarios where, especially because your team's been dying a lot, like your team's died 6 times already. Your Diablo's died 4 times. Things are looking rough. So this is one of those situations where you have to be more of a team player and just get this wave and look to pressure here. You don't even necessarily have to collapse, but even just, if you just clear this wave and sit in this bush, their team should all back up because the Urel is going to be spam pinging that Leo's coming, you know? So this would have been one good scenario for you to potentially look for that roaming play. How does one submit a replay? Type exclamation point coaching. It's the on stream. You have to book a session. And we have a 10% code thing as well. But you did get the wall, which is nice. And then, okay, so like right here, you should be prioritizing the towers here. You're getting some good trades, but you want to finish these towers first and foremost. Because you're never actually going to kill a Urel. So sometimes you can't get too baited into trading because Urel especially, she has so much sustain and she can tap and she can heal herself up. So in this scenario, as soon as you drain her, like right here, I would just be smacking these towers only. Like only towers right now. But like you drain her, which is good. But you want to finish this tower and this tower because this gives you a lot of XP and pressure. I mean, it only gives you 125, but 250 XP is still decent at this stage of the game. So instead of like these autos on Urel, don't actually do anything. It's better to just finish this tower, these wall, because you already committed to this play, so you might as well commit properly. Because like later on in the game, those 2 autos won't mean anything, but getting this wall could mean a lot later on. So you had the window to get the wall, and you can do it. So you're kind of getting baited right now by this guy. Like this guy is super happy. He's like, I forced this guy to auto me, and now I saved my towers. Like he's super happy about that. Whereas you should be upset. You're like, dang it, I got baited to hit this guy, not hit the towers. So I would say in general, I think you're focusing a little bit too much on trading, and we should be focusing more on the PvE aspect. Because like trading doesn't really do much most of the time, especially into a hero like Urel. And then yeah, like right now, yeah, I would just be suiciding for these towers. Yeah, that's good that you're getting them. I would even go for that one too. Just take my whole HP maybe. Just because that XP, you guys are almost 10, that XP is really nice. And then now you're focusing the wave. This is really good. Always focus the waves like this. Don't even worry about everything else. And then here you could have E'd this. So this is like the center play. You probably already know this, but like, because I think I saw you do it earlier. But always W and then E. So right here, if you W him and then you E'd right away, I think you try to do it. You're just a little too slow. Then you can stay in range for drain. So I think you tried it, but you just a little slow. And then yeah, now you have to clear their camps. You have to play a little defensive here, no problem. You still have Austin, you still have tap. You should let it crash though. So yeah, make sure you let it crash. I think you, okay, so like right here, just let the wave hit the tower, because with you tanking it like this is really bad right here. You should just be tapping right now and let it hit the tower, because your next wave is coming. So if you let this camp hit the tower, then your whole towers and your wave is going to be helping you clear this camp, and you clear it way faster. But because you tanked it like this, you're basically like freezing it. You don't really want to be freezing it. You want to be clearing this as fast as possible. So now, like, this one stays out of range of the tower, it's going to be way harder for you to clear it now. And your wave intercepted it so quickly that it's way easy for him. See, he can free clear your wave now, like that. So, just like a small thing of like, just let it crash in that scenario. But you're doing a pretty good job of clearing here, overall. She's just being annoying, but she's going in. let's see. Okay, so nice, good drain. She's gonna jump away, probably. Nice. You're doing good. This is good. You win this for sure because she's in. This is good. You're smurfing on him right now. Oh my gosh. Get smurfed on. Let's go. Let's go. And so now, best thing you can do is, since you guys do have the DK pressure, you just want to not let him jump on. Like, be ready for him to jump on the point and try to steal it away. So aggressively, you want to aggressively clear this wave. Like, you want to be super aggressive here, because you won the trade. So, like, this is another scenario where you should have queued a long time ago. You gotta take your advantages when you can. So, like, so you force him away at 1 HP, you immediately want to get the wave pressure as soon as possible. Like, right here, if this was me, run up and queue this wave instantaneously. Like, even before it crashes. Like, you walk right here, and you do a fat queue on the whole wave. Like, you walk right here, you do a fat queue on the whole wave. You see how long you're holding it? Like, you're holding your Q for so long in these scenarios. Like, you're just running around in circles. You just do one auto attack. You let him smack you. You could have E'd that. And, like, this wave could have been cleared, like, a year ago. But instead, finally... No, you still don't Q. Like, you could have had, like, 3 Qs by now, bro. Like, you gotta instantly Q. Instantly Q. So you just gotta be a little bit faster. Because if you got that wave out faster, then it would have been way harder for him to jump on that point. And now you finish the tower, that's good, but I'd be looking to get that point back ASAP. And again, you gotta try to eat those URL knocks. Instead, y'all lose the DK. I think you could have prevented that, probably, if you cleared the wave faster and you watched him. But again, like, DK doesn't really matter, so it's not a huge deal, but I think you could have prevented it. And here again, another Q on the hero. So yeah, just focus on queuing the waves, I would say, is my #1 advice so far, because yeah, you're getting baited with, like, right here again. Like, this doesn't do, even if you hit that drain, it's a URL with tap, you know? Like, yeah, you can't kill a URL. You gotta realize that. You probably know now. Got frustrated by how hard URL is to trade? Yeah, you're never gonna kill a URL. It's never gonna happen. Unless he's super, super bad. It shouldn't be, your goal should just be getting out the way faster and out-rotating him. That should be your main goal. And running him out of mana is another. But, like, to actually kill him is really, really hard. Nice, that's a good one too. That was good. Really good trade for me, guys. Trying to 1v1 Pirate? You gotta put some gifted subs on the line or something. Okay, so we'll speed it up. That was good overall though. That tomb was good. Still deciding to build. Like I said, I would go E-build if this was me. Okay, you're going auto build. I think auto build's also fine. My recommendation for auto build though would be try the movement speed at 7 with auto build. It feels really, really good. Because you can stutter step a lot easier and you can stay in range to auto attack a lot more. So I would always recommend, if you're planning on going auto, so you should always decide what Leo build you're going by the time you're level 7. Because I think the 7 makes a big deal. Like the movement speed at 7 makes a big deal for the auto build. But I think, yeah, auto build's fine here. I think it's pretty decent to their comp. Personally, I would have went E-build, but I don't think it's a huge deal. And you can trade a lot better into URL now. So now you got ganked. Kind of unfortunate. Can't really do much about that. Never considered movement speed with auto attack until now. It feels really, really good. Try it out next time. It feels super good. That's definitely my go-to. I know I don't play that much Leo anymore, but when I played him a lot, it was really good. Ping, ping, ping. Yeah, your team is kind of losing their minds. It's not good. Teams flaming each other. Feels bad, man. Okay, so like right here, if this was me, the game is kind of getting out of control. And so far, you've pretty much only been laning. So if this was me, I'd be just trying to team fight at least once or twice to maybe help my team out. So maybe if you ever get a situation where you clear the wave ahead of him, or their team's really overextended, I'll try to look to roam more if I was you. Because like that one time I said earlier when it was like 8 to 9, and you could have, when your team got out the camp and you went for the tower, I think that would have been a good scenario. But in general, I think when your team's this far behind, staying in the solo lane is usually not a good idea because your team needs some sort of help, and maybe you can go and provide that help for them, or at least like create some sort of counter pressure to where your team is like not as pressured. At least you can like help them get a mid wave here and there as well. That could be nice. And then right now, so you see they're ganking you, should be running. This is like pretty bad map awareness for me because you should already be gone, I would say. Oh, okay, you don't actually get ganked, but you could have been getting ganked, so going through this is not good. You should have like ran away by now. Hey, you got his ulti though. Yeah, I think basically you're too focused on 1v1 is my my number one criticism. You're too focused on like this ain't League, you know. You're playing it like it's League of Legends, where you're just 1v1ing out of your mind. You need to focus more on the team and on roaming and on wave and on all that stuff. Because you're playing solo laner like it's like actually an island. So that's actually not the right way to play it. And a lot of people do this in ops. Like it isn't like a specific thing to you. Like so finally after 11 minutes of hard work, you finally killed this guy. And it's like, what do you actually get from this? Like you've been spending your whole game trying to kill this guy, but your team is like, everyone's mental is shattered, people are dying, like your base is all gone, like the map is absolutely in shambles. And that whole time, the only thing you saw was your 1v1, you know? So you have to sometimes focus more on the team than on the 1v1, because even if you do win it, it's like, who cares, you know? Like the 4v4 has so much higher impact. So roaming and yeah, like this is perfect. You got out that mid wave and you're here for the fight. This is what I like to see. This is what I like to see. I would have liked to see more of this. Nice. Entomb Vala. Oh, you should have entombed Vala right here. This was bad. So right here, this was good. You collapse. You could have easily killed Vala here. So the best play for you to do here, this guy is already double silenced and flipped. So instead, you want to E onto this Vala. So right here, you got hit by the rain. You could have E'd that, right? And you could have E'd onto him, and then Q slowed him, and then entombed him. Or just E onto him and entomb him. But instead, you try to max range drain. Like, max range drain is never good. Max range drain is never, ever good. The only drains you should be doing on Leo are melee range drains. Max range drain never does anything. Why? Because they walk out of it. So always better to E on them first, Q them, and then entomb them, or Q them, and then drain them. So we'll watch it one more time just to go over. Always want to E first. In this scenario, like this is a pick scenario. You're killing their healer, this is really good. So this is a situation you just E on him right now. Why? Because you get that movement speed, and they can't. So the E gives you up to 50% move speed. So you just E on top of him, and you dodge all the stuns. Like right here, you could have dodged that stun. And instead this guy gets away, this is 100% your fault. You could have, if you killed this Vala, then you could have taken this camp, and then you could have dove this fort. You could have done a lot more here. Even right now, I would stay down here, because, okay, this wave is nice, but imagine you can get 2 more kills down here, because their healer is dead, and you guys have a 5v3, because Urel just spawned, because remember you killed Urel earlier? So this is a 5v3, this should be your go button right here, this should be your green light, where you want to look for absolutely more, as much as you possibly can. Like, this wave doesn't actually do anything, it's like double soaking right here is very bad. Like you see that your team already got another kill. Imagine if your entomb was here. You could have got even 2 more kills. You could have got this fort, and then maybe this fort, or this fort, and maybe this whole wall. Or instead, like, these waves don't really actually do anything in terms of, like, snowballing the game. So now Urel came, and now she's defending, and now you guys don't even get this fort, probably. When y'all could have got so much. Like, imagine you're here with a fat entomb. Or just, like, fat presence over here. You guys could have overwhelmed them 5v3 and taken this thing. But instead, like, let's see, maybe your team still gets it. They're trying to get more picks. Nice. They're still getting more picks. So your team's still able to do it. They get traded back though. Like, I think you definitely want to be here. Like, generally in the late game as solo laner, me personally, it's like more my style, but I think it is generally correct. Like, just ignore the waves late game. Especially if you have an advantage like this, you always want to press your advantages. So like, this was me, I would have been down here with the lads brawling. Because the waves are nice, but getting kills and getting buildings is way better. So this is one of those scenarios where I would have just grouped and looked for a lot more. But maybe I'll get a dragon. Let's see. Nice, good in tune. I don't think y'all can kill him with these three, but it's still a good engage. Maybe? Cool. Yeah, that's still a good in tune. You definitely want to do that. And then now you're autoing out of your mind. This is good. Taking some good trades here. You're this, but you're Leo. You don't really care. Yeah, you're smacking him right here. This is good. This is the brawling I wanted to see earlier. Like, you died, but it's fine. You got so much value there. That was really good. Unfortunately, your Sylph has to clear bottom, so your team's kind of really bad. Yeah, it feels bad now. I think Sylph should have just grouped that scenario. And then do they end? No, they're throwing. It's big. You're about to be up and smurf on them all, I believe. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. The Sylph is. Oh my. She's clean. Okay, so right here, I noticed you're taking a really long time to take your 20. So this is really bad. This is really bad because you've been 20 for like what? You hit it at 15:03. So you don't want to be level 20 for over 10 seconds while you're dead and you still haven't taken it. This is really bad. Like, you need to take your talent. It took you 11 seconds and you still haven't taken a talent. That's really bad. You need to have your talent, whatever you're taking. I mean, you should be taking Silence in Tomb, because Silence in Tomb's OP. But regardless, you have to decide faster. 11 seconds is more than enough time, and you should always be. You think you weren't sure what to take? Yeah, you gotta always decide ahead of time. So, like, during that whole time you were dead while they're pushing Kure, that's what you should be thinking about. Instead of thinking about how horrible your team is and that they're 4v5ing and that I hate this game, I'm gonna uninstall, like, what am I gonna have for lunch later? Like, is there any people coffee left? Like, whatever else you're thinking about, it has to be your talent, because being level 20 for 11 seconds and not taking your talent, that's huge. That's huge. Because look, you couldn't instantly eat that maybe, and then Silence and Tomb somebody. And instead they all get away. So you gotta decide sooner on your talent build. I always, like I said, I always decide my full talent build before I'm even loaded into the game. And I'll think about my full talent build, or I'll even think about like some variations. Like, maybe at 20 I might take this, or maybe if the game's going like this I might take this 13, or maybe if Yrel takes this talent then I'll take this talent. So like, that's all stuff you should be thinking about before you even load into the game. And like, if there's some adjustments you have to make, that's what you do while you're dead, or while you're like rotating between lanes, or you're like, you have like that off time, you know, like you're doing a camp. That's the time to think about it. So definitely should have decided way before now. So you do take the 20 drain. I really don't like this. I think with this build especially, Entomb 20 is really good. And into their comp, it's also really good. So I don't recommend this 20 unless you go full drain build. And even then, I think Entomb 20 is just so strong. So would still recommend going 20 Entomb here. And then, so right now, you want to get out this camp and force this fort. That's your ideal scenario. So let's see if you go for it. You do go for it. That's good. You're the only one going for it. Wait. Make a U-turn. Wait. You're pinging them back, but it's actually fine for them to be here because Vala's dead. So they can't actually kill you guys. So you're actually, even though you see them coming, you're actually a little bit too concerned for no reason here. This is a really good fight for y'all, by the way. I would definitely have entombed that Ariel. So right here, so you should be able to recognize right here that Vala's still dead, right? So Vala takes about 15-20 seconds to run all the way from there to there. So essentially you have like a 15 to 20 seconds window of 5v4. So if this was me, I'd be entombing the Ariel as soon as I saw her, because she's the only one who can't escape. Murden can jump away, Maiev can E away. Like right here, let me show you. As soon as you see this right here, as soon as I see this Ariel, what I do is I E right here and I entomb him. And that should be game. Just E right into this choke, entomb him. That should be game. I'm not even exaggerating. Like if you just entomb this guy, it's game over. Because like look at Vala. By the time that entomb expires and everyone follows up, Vala's still gonna be over here. Okay, so that's like 5v4. That's like the best fight you can get in your life. So that was your job to entomb right there. Pretty big mistake, I would say. Definitely could have entombed that Ariel and won your team the game. And now you get this, they disengage. You know why they're disengaging? Because 4v5. So you should have already recognized by now that you should have engaged. Silence entomb and Ariel's auto win. Yeah, I mean he had Sukov right there, so it's basically a silence entomb regardless. Oh, this is a bad. Oh no, you missed Ariel. That's bad. So right here, you weren't sure if you guys were leaving or staying, so I understand you eating away right here. But you gotta watch your teammates. So your teammates are pinging on the way, and your Sukov combos. So this, you're a little too indecisive with your movement here. Like if we walk, you're like you're too unsure right here. You gotta decide. You gotta decide if you're committing or not, because I'll show you what I mean. Like watch your steps right here. You're like, okay, I'm out. No, wait, I'm in. No, I'm out. Okay, I'm in. So like right there, that whole like shigaggle over there, that whole shebang, you could have already been up here in a prime position to follow up right there. So you gotta be more decisive in these scenarios, right? Where either spam ping your team back, I'm not going for it, or you spam ping for it, I'm going for it. You gotta make a decision. A good decision, bad decision, either way. Being indecisive is the worst thing, because if you're indecisive, you'll never know what was better. Because I don't know what was better, because I don't know if you're here or not, you know? Like, if you were here, it would have been a lot easier to tell. And if you're over here, then I would have known, okay, like, maybe following up was better. But, like, so you gotta just decide one way or the other. And you gotta be in a primer position. But even still, you should have been able to... You see this guy? This is the easiest entomb of your life. Right here. Boom. Boom. You're not even 20 entomb, but at least this is still a good force, because you force him to instant Aegis. So, this should have been an easy entomb on Ariel. And you went for the Murden. This is never good, because Murden's their tankiest member. So you want to entomb that healer when he stepped up to you like that. So, that was a bad entomb. Indecisive. Still roast them pretty hard though. So you guys still win the fight regardless, but it could have been a lot cleaner. I'll tell you that much. It could have been a lot cleaner. And now y'all should be able to just end, right? Surely. So if this was me, I'd be spam pinging their base. So you want to go for a dragon? That's not correct. You guys could actually end here, I'm pretty sure. With Sylvanas, I'm pretty sure y'all could just end. So this is something I talk about a lot, where 5 people doing one thing is better than 4 people doing one thing and one guy not doing the other thing. So like, your whole team's committed to the push. I think you just gotta commit with them and stay here. So this is another scenario where you left when you should have stayed. We had it's like deja vu from last time when you didn't entomb the Vala here and your team dove. You should have done with the team, just like over there. Over here, you should also be with the team here, because you guys have a lot of damage and their spawn timers are really long. So if you're here, I think you can help your team end the game instead of going for Dragon Knight. See, even without you, your team's on the core with 30 seconds. This is definitely GG. This is definitely GG. So this was a bad call from you. It's okay. At least you made a call. You're telling your team not to do it. It's definitely the incorrect call. You definitely could end. But it's fine. You know, no one dies. At least you ping them back. At least you let them know you made the call. At least you made a call. You know, at least you made it. That's good that at least you're making a call. Again, the wrong call, but at least you did something. And then, yeah, you guys should be able to slow core here. It's going to be a lot tougher now, though, because they're all alive. And your Diablo just suicided. Yeah, I don't think y'all can end anymore. Unless you... Yeah, no. There's no way y'all end anymore. Also, kicking the tank into your team is probably the absolute worst thing you can do. Just as an aside, you never want to kick the tank in. You almost always, whenever you're playing Dragon Knight, your best play is to either kick their damage or kick their healer. You almost never want to kick the tank, unless you're scared your team's going to get engaged on. And if you are kicking their tank, you want to kick them away, not into your team. If you kick the tank in, then you're giving then you're giving him a big flank. So this is me, I'll just kick one of these two, and then try to help my team like that. Instead of like, you like ran all the way around, and then you like kick their tank in. Like me, I just kick the damage or the healer almost always. Yeah. Giving their tank a flank onto your backline is not a good idea. So see, if you kick their healer there, Vala would have died because she wouldn't have got that Aegis. So if you kick their healer over here, that would have been way better. And yeah, I don't think there's any way y'all can end here, by the way. Once Diablo dies, this is a... Oh my gosh, we actually killed Vala. We actually killed that. Alright, let's go. But you guys, at least y'all got a kill back. Yeah, really hard to end there once Diablo dies, but if you just group with your team earlier, y'all would have ended already. Okay, now just getting out camps. Have to reset, have to regroup. At least you guys have a keep, you know? Bottom keeps big. Telling the team to wait for Sukal, that's good. Telling your team you're clearing top, that's good. And then yeah, now grouping is really, really good. Uh-oh. Team 4v5 though. Oh no, are they all gonna die and you're gonna lose? No, surely not. No, surely not. No, please. Okay, you're here. Nice, you're going on Vala. Nice, Entomb. Oh, this is really good. This is really good. That was really good play. My only criticism would be you didn't pop your Alcian. You didn't pop your level 1 here. This was good though. Recognizing that their DPS is isolated and all-inning him, this is the right play to make as a bruiser. Even if you lose this 1v1, it's still worth because you're distracting their main damage and you're chunking him really hard. My only criticism would have been, as soon as you pop your Entomb, I would have layered in that Alcian for that HP regen. But you still end up winning. 40 armor from the drain was big there. Yeah, that should be game for y'all. Your DPS is dead. Big. Nice, getting back in. I like that, I like that. Yeah, good team fight at the end. He played that one really well. No criticism on that one. And then yeah, just march to Kure. Easy. Nice job, nice job. Okay, well, thank you for that VOD, Big Oats. Hope you guys learned something. That was Plat 3 Big Oats on Brazilian server, playing some Leo auto build. I hope it was a beneficial VOD review, Big Oats. Let me know if you have any questions or anything.